What is the deadly truth behind the temple stampedes that keep happening in India? What went wrong in the Mansa Devi Stampede and how it has been a recurring pattern of neglect? Why India keeps failing at crowd control? A sacred morning turned into a scene of chaos. People came in for blessings and ate, never returned home. This Mansa Devi Stampede that has happened isn't just a strategy, but it is a repetitive pattern that we see where India is not able to crowd control. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to understand that why such stampedes keep happening in India and what are the recent examples that lie in front of us, not just as tragedies but also to learn lessons from. So the stampede I am talking about at Mansa Devi Temple took place in the early hours of July 27th. Now, when we talk about this particular stampede and this particular temple, this temple is located near Har Ki Pauri in Haridwar, and it is basically a 1.5 kilometer inclined walk which takes you to this particular temple. This temple is known for its significance in terms of devotion, in terms of faith, and people just wanted to do that. Now, what went wrong? It was in early hours that there was a rumor that there is an electric wire that is snapping around, which led to sudden panic. And when that panic triggered, there was excessive congestions because there are no separate entry or exit gates when we are talking about the temple which is located at a particular height. There was chaos, and amidst this chaos, one of the devotees fell down the stairs, which further led to an aggravated situation which led to a stampede. The result of this stampede is that as of now, there have been confirmed 8 deaths and more than 60 people are already injured. This is one incident that lies right in front of us, but this is not the only incident that we have seen in recent past. Even though there has been administrative steps that have been taken for it and there has been assurance from the administrative side, from the chief minister, that this will be looked into. Even our prime minister has gone ahead and extended his condolences, but this is where we need to understand that such tragedies are not just an isolated event or a one-time event. They are a culmination of the mishappenings or the mismanagement that has been taking place every day in our country. And this is not the only example that lies in front of us. We have multiple such examples, that too in just this year. Jagannath Puri Stampede, one of the most important festivals where Jagannath Puri Yatra takes place, and stampede dampened the whole sentiment. That's not just it. There was another stampede when we are talking about our Kumbh Mela. When we are talking about Kumbh Mela, again, if you talk about UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, Kumbh Mela is part of it. It symbolizes what India has and other people don't. It is symbolic of the culture, Indian heritage, and yet such tragedy took place. And such tragedies are not just limited to temples. They are happening over celebration when RCB celebration took place just after them winning the IPL of this year. So why such tragedies are happening in India again and again? What are the reasons behind it? For clearer understanding, we will be looking deep inside that what is that allows this pattern to happen in India. When we talk about all these accidents and incidents that have happened, they are basically a systematic failure where the control of crowd has led to a preventable tragedy. That means when we are talking about these incidents, if there would have been proper crowd management, if there would have been proper administration, proper information, proper entry and exit system, no bottlenecks such as lack of railings, etc., these incidents probably would not have happened. Now let us look into why these incidents are specific to India. Why do we see this frequency in India? What are we doing wrong and why do these stampedes keep happening? Is there a specific pattern that we need to understand and work upon? Yes. So when we talk about the reasons, we have to broadly divide it into three sections. So the first section that I am going to talk about is basically the factors related to us, factors related to people, where we are also part of this problem and we can be part of the solution as well. How? How are we part of the problem? So when we talk about people level factor, we have to understand that there is lack of crowd safety awareness. What do I mean by crowd safety awareness? That means people do not understand that if they are in a congested situation, how to behave. People believe in pushing, nudging, moving, and that is not how people should be in a crowd. If they would have this basic understanding, then the panic that is associated with triggers such as rumors will not take place. Another big reason from our end is basically the religious sentiment that we have, and we associate with it the proximity we have with the deity, or we have the proximity with the particular religious person who is there. If we do not get that proximity, it makes us impatient. Furthermore, we are also part of the herd which believes everything is fine. I would like to label it as the chalta hai mentality. It is basically the casual approach that does not talk about rules, lines, minding them. It's okay if we jump the line, it's okay if we make one line into three, and which is absolutely incorrect at our end. But definitely I wouldn't blame everything on us. Because sometimes in panic situation, because of rumors, especially in this particular case, Mansa Devi case, that electric wire is snapping and anybody can be hurt, it is understandable for us that we will panic and such situations might be created. Then what is the next end? As I said, the first end is us, we need to look. The second end comes from the fact that the system needs to look into it. As much as it is our responsibility to be in the safe environment, it is also a system level failure. How it is a system level failure? Because when we are talking about this particular incident itself, it is a very old temple where the entry exits are same. There is no proper railing. There are severe bottlenecks where it can be found, and there is no proper management. So the temples need the facilitation in terms of infrastructure also, because the crowd is not just modern, the number of people, the number of pilgrims, the number of tourists are also increasing. So that is something that system needs to address. Other than that, there is inadequate enforcement, just like the case that we saw in RCB Stampede, just like we saw in Kumbh Mela Stampede, that the enforcement required to make sure that people, if they are not following the rules, there are administration people to make them follow, that is also lacking. And third, from this level of system comes the VIP preference. So if people are asked to muddle up on a side just to make way for one particular person, it will definitely create chaos. And this chaos will lead into such big tragedies. Now, if we talk about the third aspect of it, is the education. Because this is something that needs to be taught from the very fundamental level, that what does disaster safety look like? What is to be done in the disaster? Event organizers should have proper certification, proper trainings required for that. Event organizations should have a second plan, a B plan in case of disaster takes place, and what would be done, what are the ways to prevent it or minimize its impact. Furthermore, local bodies at present lack basic planning skills that should be added. Because in these times, as much as it is important to pray, as much as it is important to teach children that how to pray, it is very important to also teach them to how to be safe. All of this that I have been talking about, this is about a preventable tragedy. That means if any of these factors would have worked out, this tragedy would not have taken place. 8 of these people would have been probably alive. Now, my question to you here is, what are the challenges that India is facing that we are not able to implement this threefold plan that can actually save us from disasters, man-made disasters like stampedes? Now, that was all from my side. Thank you so much.